Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. More transfer updates. In case you missed the earlier live show, we talked about Morgan Rogers, about our soon-to-be 45 million euro signing from Greece. We talked about the latest on Tavares, Kivio, Jesus, Tomiyasu, a new head of scouting about to join the club. We talked about a lot, so make sure to check that one out. But since then, we have more updates, and this time, let's start with Rodrygo. What's the latest on Rodrygo? According to Sky Sports, Arsenal are interested in signing Rodrygo from Real Madrid. Rodrygo is high among the left wingers on their list, along with players such as Nico Williams, Leroy Sané, and Morgan Rogers. So I still don't think there's anyone who knows which player you're going to get as a striker and which player you're going to get as the left winger. It's quite difficult. For me, a striker, I said I wanted Gyökeres. Let's see who we're going to get. For the left winger, I said I'm happy with other options, no problem with different options. Rodrygo is my first option. Lookman is my second option, and Nick Williams is my third option. Any of them I would take. Rodrygo would be the first one, though. Despite how much he would cost, that is a player who would take it to the next level in terms of a world-class level. He's been at a team where they're used to winning. He's bringing that mentality again. If you're looking for a versatile player, he's the one. One of the main reasons why he wants to leave Real Madrid is because he wants to play as a left winger. This past season, he has been used as a right winger mostly for Real Madrid, and the previous season when Bellingham was new, Rodrygo's pretty much playing as a centre forward before they signed Mbappe. So for like 3-4 different seasons at Real Madrid, he's been a right winger, a left winger, a striker, so he can definitely play in a lot of different positions, but world class. You're not going to get world class players for 10 million, 20 million. If you're going to get a backup for Saka, we don't have to spend 78 million. You can spend 20 million. I'll be happy with that. If you want to get a backup for Gabriel, for Saliba, and pay cheap, absolutely no problem. Same with Declan Rice, same with Timber and Ben White on that side. If you're going to get a backup player for cheap, no problem. But if it's a position where you want to, sign a player in that position and then you go to the next level 100%, and we all know that if you get a new left wing and you get a striker, we definitely go to the next level. You have to splash the money. You're not going to get Gyökeres and Rodrygo for a total of 50 million and 100,000 per week. That is not going to happen. If you want to sign Rodrygo, you have to pay a lot of money, and that is going to cost you around 80 million, as it's already been discussed previously. And in terms of wages, he wants to be like one of the highest paid players at Arsenal, something like 300,000 per week. I think he could be, but obviously after that, you're going to give Saka a new contract. I think eventually Saka will be the highest paid player at Arsenal, maybe next to maybe him and Saliba will be up there, but basically Rodrygo will be up there. If you want to get this kind of players, you have to pay the money. I have no problem with us paying money for a striker and a left winger, because those are the positions we are missing. Those are the final pieces in our puzzle. Get that piece, and next season I would say we definitely win something. If you have a striker and a left winger, you definitely win something. And players like Rodrygo do not become available that easily. No, we've signed Declan Rice, a world-class player, 2 years ago. But how many world-class signings have we made even since the Wenger days? If you go back to 2010, how many world-class signings have we made? Ozil, Alexis Sanchez, Aubameyang, maybe Lacazette at the time. That and Declan Rice. That is like 5 since 2010, 15 years. We've made like 5 world-class signings. If you compare that to other teams, obviously Man City have signed a lot. Even if you go to a Liverpool and you see them signing Alisson, maybe at that point they aren't world class, but it's players who've changed the direction of the team. If you look at Coutinho, if you look at Salah, if you look at Van Dijk, Alisson, all these guys, they've signed top players when they were either approaching their peak or approaching their are basically already good players, and Liverpool go and splash 70, 80 million on them. We also need to do the same. We've seen the impact that Declan Rice has had in this team. You pay the money, you give them the wages, and they have an impact in your team. It doesn't always work out that way. Like we signed Pepe for 72 million, didn't really work out that way. But, when you sign players like Declan Rice, most of the time, that is the kind of impact they have in your team. So for Rodrygo, I would 100% take him. Lyle of Sky Sports goes on to say Rodrygo is high among the left wingers. The list has Nico Williams, Leroy Sané, and Rogers. Now, for Sané, I said, if you're signing Rodrygo and then you bring Sané for free as a backup, I will take him 100%. But I would not want a list of those 4 players plus Lookman, plus Semenyo, plus every other winger we've been linked to, and then we come out of that with a free deal for Leroy Sané. that would not make any sense at all, because that is one position that we definitely need to improve on. I'm happy, as I've said, to get cheaper signings anywhere else, whether it's goalkeeper, centre back. But for these two positions, we have to take them very seriously. You go for a position you want. Liverpool were close to winning the league, close to winning the Champions League. They said, nah, man, our goalkeeper cost us. We're going to get Alisson. We're going to get Van Dijk. Boom, they won the league and they won the Champions League. It's simple as that. You go for the positions that you need. For us, we know our defense is good. You know, players like Declan Rice in midfield, they're very good. Saka is very good. You have 2-3 positions that you can improve on. Go for it. So Rodrygo last season, since 2020, Rodrygo has had like 6 hamstring injuries, but most of them are back in 2020, 2021. I think now is good. The last 2 seasons, he's actually played 51 games in both of them. Last season, he scored 14 goals and 10 assists. So 24 goal contributions in 51 games. The previous season, the same 51 games, 17 goals and 9 assists. So that was 26 goal contributions in 51 games. In total, the last 2 seasons, Rodrygo has 50 goal contributions in 102 games. So that is almost a goal contribution every 2 games, which is very good. And 33 goals and 19 assists. So those numbers are very good. 33 goals, 19 assists in total. So yeah, the last 2 seasons, those are very good. Those are very, very good. Now, did I calculate that right? 24, yeah, that is 50 goal contribution. Why am I doubting my mathematics? So yeah, 14 goals and 17 goals in the 2 seasons. That is 31 and then 19 assists. So yeah, 50 goal contributions in the 102 games. But the minutes have not been that many for him, because Rodrygo, he usually gets subbed off and he doesn't always start. So in those games that he played in the league last season, La Liga, he only played 90 minutes 6 times. So he rarely plays 90 minutes. He maybe comes on for the last 23 minutes, comes on for like 30 minutes at the end, 10 minutes at the end. And when he starts, he usually gets subbed off like 60, 65 minutes, he goes off. So we don't really need him to come and play 90 minutes at Arsenal every single game. But yeah, maybe what I'm trying to say is maybe if he was playing more minutes for Madrid, those goal contributions would have been higher. So if he had more minutes, maybe we'd have been talking about, at least 56 goal contributions in those games. So he gets subbed off a lot. So Rodrygo, I would 100% take him, but it would cost you a lot of money. But I am definitely happy with that. Morgan Rogers, talked about him earlier. I don't think it should be a case of whether you get Rodrygo or Rogers. I think if you're getting Rodrygo, you either get Rodrygo, Nico Williams, or Lookman, and then Rogers would be someone, if you feel like you need a number 8 and a number 10, you decide between Rogers and Shaki and Eze. I would love both of those players at Arsenal. Imagine if we had Rodrygo, Rogers, and a striker. We would never complain again. We'd have so many different options, different competitions. You can use different players. That is what we want. You don't want to have the same players, same ideas every single game, same subs every single game. No. Sometimes you have both Rogers and Odegaard on the pitch. Sometimes you have Rodrygo. Sometimes Rodrygo can play on the right side and Saka can rest, different things. And that can only happen if you pay for quality players like this. I'm sure if we said we really wanted him, and then we come up against teams like Chelsea and even a Liverpool and other teams, I'd still back us to get the deal over the line, just like we did with Declan Rice, just like we did with Raya ahead of teams like Madrid and Man City. I'd be happy to do that. And we've signed players from Real Madrid before, so I think we have a good business relationship with Real Madrid. I've seen Real Madrid fans saying if he leaves Madrid, I'd prefer him to go to Arsenal. I prefer Arsenal to Madrid. I've seen comments like that. So I don't know if that is because they feel like you're not a threat. I hope not. I hope they just feel like that because we have some respect for each other. Hopefully that is the case. Sky Sports also reported that left winger and striker are the priority positions at Arsenal, and the club have a number of targets in each. Andrea Berta is understood to be gathering information on the best players in each position before deciding with Mikel Arteta which deals to execute. So happy to hear that left wing and the striker are the priorities. Striker, we know it has to be one of these two. It can't be anyone else unless we get a shock transfer for Isaac or Haaland or something. I don't think that will happen. So it has to be between these two. We are waiting to hear any more news on them. I think Gyökeres is not going to play for Sweden because he's currently injured or something. So yeah, one of them has to be the option. For wingers, we've talked about all those options that we can get. My dream would be Gyökeres and Rodrygo. It would be a lot of money. That would be like we are talking around 150 million for the two. I think that is worth it for players who are going to change the direction of your team. For me, I feel like that is so worth it. And then if you can get someone like a Rodgers, I know it sounds very like a dream, but that is like around 210 million. And if you're selling someone, because we were also told that if you get a left winger, we might sell Martinelli, so that can still happen. We don't know what is going to those signings are going to change the direction of your club for sure. It's going to take you to the next level. Man City have already signed Nuri and Reinders. Liverpool have already signed Frimpong, about to sign Kakes, about to sign Vats. Those are the teams you're going to compete with. If you're not careful, you're going to be the third team and you're going to be many points behind the two of them. So you have to keep up. So hopefully, whichever players Berta has talked to, we make a decision very soon. And we're going to get them this June. We want those players ready for the transfer, ready for the preseason, which starts in July. So let's see how that one goes. Next up, this from Aizen Khan. He says, I can see at least 4 deals being made this summer. The signing of Mati Zubimendi is pretty much complete. So after that, it is a striker, a backup goalkeeper, and then possibly a young left winger or December who can fill at the back. I don't want to hear a young left winger or defender. No, those should not be in the same sentence. It should be Arsenal will get Zubimendi, Arsenal will get a striker, Arsenal will get a left winger, a backup goalkeeper, and then they will get an extra midfielder or a defender. That is how it's supposed to be. There's not supposed to be or with the left winger. Left winger has to happen. It's not supposed to be or. So the players that we're linked to are young, Nico, Williams, Rodrygo, so they fit that bill of a young left winger. We have to get a left winger. I think we have to. With a striker, we just have to. So signing a left winger is a desire, not a certainty. It will likely depend on the cost of the striker they sign. One option could be to sign a developing youngster. No, if you're signing a developing youngster, then that means Martinelli and Trossard are still starting first most of the games next season, and that is what I'm not sure about. For me, I want Martinelli and Trossard to play a role in the team, but not as starters every time and depending on them every time. No, if you go and you sign, Watkins and Sane, that is a disappointing transfer window. I think if you only go and sign Sesko and Sane, I still think that is a disappointing window. But if you go and you sign Sesko and Rodrygo, all of a sudden it's an 8 out of 10. And then if you add an attacking midfield and other positions that we need, all of a sudden it could be a 10 out of 10 transfer window. So he says Mendy's pretty much done. So let's see what happens with that deal after he plays for Spain in the Nations League. They are playing France, actually, at the time of recording, they're playing France in the next 1 hour. He's playing next to Marine in midfield. Very interested to see how they do in that midfield, both of them, because there might be some games where they play together next season. Maybe if Rice is not there, maybe if Rice is being rested, maybe if Pat is required at right back, who knows? We are going to need him. So it looks like Zubimendi will be done. Backup goalkeeper, for me, doesn't have to happen. You can use players like Karl Hein next season if possible, as long as you get those other positions that we need. So that is the latest from Sky Sports and from Aizen Khan, the players that we've talked about, Rodrygo, and Berta's plans and Arsenal's plans for the transfer window. I don't know how quickly you're going to get the deals done. Or most of these players, we have to move as quickly as possible because teams like Liverpool and Man United have now been mentioned as teams that want Sesko. And we already know someone like Gyökeres is wanted by a lot of different teams. Chelsea has been mentioned. Man United are still keen on him as well. We're not going to be the only teams. You might hear Bayern Munich wanting him. You might hear Barcelona wanting him. You never know. If you wait for too long, when teams start getting their deals done and selling players, they could easily say, you know what, we now have enough money. We can go for this and this player. Oh, they're still available. Let's go and get them. So now we don't want that. We want to be serious. We want to be ready by July. Let's hope that is the case. Please get me Gyökeres and Rodrygo. Oh, that would be amazing. And Rodgers on top of that. I wish. I don't think we've had a complete transfer window like that. That would be the first. And if you got all those players, that would be the first complete transfer window we've had ever since we moved to the Emirates Stadium. So let's see how it goes. Let me know what you make of all that. How much do you think Rodrygo is worth? How much would you be paying for him? If they said 100 million, would you pay for him? Or would you feel like, nah, it's too expensive. Let's go for someone like a Nico Williams. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next